So you may or may not know this about me, but I used to struggle so much in my relationships when it came to sex. Like I'm talking about laying in bed, pretending to be asleep levels of struggle just to avoid intimacy with someone that I actually loved, someone that I was attracted to, and still didn't want sex. I felt so much pressure and it felt like something I was supposed to want and not something that I actually wanted. Every time my partner would initiate, I would freeze, I would pull away, I would laugh it off, and I carried so much shame around that. Like, what is wrong with me? Why do I keep doing this? It eventually put so much pressure on the relationship that relationship ended. And that is why I do what I do. It's why I share what I share here so that hopefully people watching this don't have to feel broken or alone or go through what I did. So today I want to share the 5 things that I wish I knew when I was struggling with sex in my long-term relationship and things that are now things I teach my clients as a sex and intimacy coach. So let's get into it. Number 1, it is actually so normal to want sex a different amount than your partner. I used to think that if we weren't totally in sync, same level of desire, same frequency, then something was wrong. I thought that we maybe weren't compatible. I thought that I was the problem. And every time I didn't want sex, I just felt like I was letting him down. But here's what I've learned. Almost every single couple experiences a desire mismatch at some point in the relationship, and it can change depending on what season of life you're in. Stress, kids, work, hormones, grief, the list goes on. For me, it always looked like my partner wanting sex more than I did, and that created so much pressure. So here's the tip. Instead of trying to match each other's desire, create a shared intimacy menu. Like make a list of all the ways you can connect sexually and emotionally that don't have to lead to penetration. Things you could put on your list are kissing, cuddling, massage, mutual touch, dancing, oral, making out like teenagers. This kind of menu will give you both more options, so one of you doesn't feel rejected and the other one doesn't feel obligated. Number 2, thing that I think that you should know is that if you like sex once it starts, but you never think about it, you probably have responsive desire. This blew my mind when I learned it because I would be like, why don't I ever just want it spontaneously out of the blue? But then once we would start having sex, I'd be like, wait, this is great. Like, why don't I like this more? Why don't I want this more? This is textbook responsive desire. So if you're wired for spontaneous desire, you want sex before anything happens. If you have responsive desire, your body just needs some kind of arousal, physical, emotional first. And then your brain goes, oh yeah, I want this. I'm into this. So here's your permission slip. The next time that your partner initiates, try saying, I'm not in the mood yet, but I'm open to exploring. That's it. Like that is how you really support someone who has responsive desire. It's not about being immediately ready. It's about being willing and open. And one more thing, figure out what actually helps you warm up. Is it cuddling? Is it emotional connection? Is it dancing together or having some fun first? Figure out what stokes your fire and start doing more of that. All right, number 3 thing that I feel like you should know is that avoiding affection because you're afraid to lead your partner on will make everything worse. And trust me, I did this for years. My partner would try to kiss me and I'd pull away. He'd reach for me and I would make a joke to deflect because I didn't want to start something that I couldn't finish. So I just would avoid touch altogether. But the problem about that is that avoidance creates more avoidance. If you avoid something once, your nervous system goes, yes, that worked, we're safe. So then the next time your fear gets louder, your anxiety spikes faster and you keep pulling away. Touch is actually how we co-regulate with our partners. It's how we feel close, not just sexually, but also emotionally. So if this is you and you're pulling away from your partner, my invitation is this. Reclaim touch on your terms. Start with small, safe ways to incorporate touch without any pressure, holding hands, long hugs, initiating cuddling without expectations. And you can literally say to your partner, hey, I want to touch you more, but I'm scared that it'll feel like pressure to have sex. Can we just focus on closeness for now? And then let them hear that and take them at their word when they say yes. That's okay, because touching more without pressure is actually going to help your responsive desire turn on more too. Number 4, there is no perfect number of times you need to have sex to be a good partner. Can we all just collectively agree to throw out every stupid article that on Cosmo magazine that says that couples should have sex a certain number of times per week? Because I used to feel like this was like an invisible clock ticking in my head every time after we had sex. Like, okay, now it's been 1 day, now it's been 2 days, now it's been 7 days, now 10. Oh my gosh, more pressure building, shame building. That made it so much harder for me to relax, way harder to actually want sex. But the truth is that frequency matters way less than quality. I would take one deeply connected, nourishing sexual experience every 2 weeks over a rushed, disconnected sex 3 times a week any day. If you do want a number to aim for, research says that couples tend to report more happiness around once a week, but once it gets past that point, once you're having sex more than once a week, there's not an increased level of happiness that comes as a result of that. But honestly, the better question to ask is, what kind of sex actually feels worth having? What kind of sex leaves you feeling closer and not just checked out? You need to define that with your partner. That is your number. It's more about quality, not quantity. Okay, so the last thing is that you can learn so much about what you like and build so much confidence by just touching your own body. This one was a huge breakthrough. All of them were huge breakthroughs for me, but this one was really good because I used to be the queen of dissociation. I would just fully check out during sex. I was always in my head. I didn't know what I liked, and I expected my partner to just figure it out. And I would just hope something would work. But when I started intentionally touching my own body, not just sexually, like actually just lovingly putting my hands on my body, everything changed. So here's the experiment I would give to you. Once a week, put on a playlist that you love, set a timer for like 10 to 15 minutes, and just explore your body. Run your hands over your skin. Give yourself a hug. Massage your arms, your belly, your neck. No goal, no agenda, just noticing how it feels. Where do you feel relaxed? Where do you feel tension? What parts of your body want more attention? This kind of self-knowledge is priceless, and it builds such a deep relationship with your body, especially if you've struggled with body image in particular. It can really help you build connection and confidence from the inside out. So to recap, here are the 5 things that I wish that I knew when I was struggling with sex in my relationship. Number 1, desire mismatch is normal. Number 2, you may have responsive desire. Number 3, avoiding touch makes it worse. Number 4, there is no right number of times to have sex. And number 5, touching your body builds confidence. So if this helped you, share it with a friend or send it to your partner and spark a new conversation. And just remember, you are not broken, you are not alone, and you do get to have a sex life that feels good to you. But if you're wondering why you lost desire in the first place, I made this video just for you to check out next. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.